Hello, welcome to take 7 of me trying to start this video because I'm self-conscious and uncomfortable. This is me. My name is Hannah. I have cystic fibrosis. I used to make a lot of videos about cystic fibrosis and mental health and college sometimes, but I don't really do that anymore. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know. But here I am on my work laptop's webcam because I sold my camera because I live in New York City now and it's really expensive, but I wanted to update you about what it's been like being on TRIKAFTA, which is like the miracle drug I've been waiting for my entire life, for 6 months. Yeah, I started TRIKAFTA 6 months ago, and I just wanted to like update anyone who wants to know about what it's been like. So, let's do that, but first, if you're watching this like around the time that I'm posting it, you obviously know that we are all in quarantine right now because COVID-19 is a thing. If you're watching this in the future, hi, I'm recording this when COVID-19 is a thing. I hope it stops being a thing, like sooner rather than later. But yeah, in regards to that, I'm fine. I'm doing okay. My friends and family are doing okay. I have lost one person in my family to COVID-19, but other than that, it's just like a lot of like friends of friends or family of friends that I know of. It's so hard to talk about, that I know of that are coming down with COVID-19. I'm just gonna keep going because I don't really have the words for living in a pandemic, and again, it makes me uncomfortable. So I hope that you are as safe as you can be and your mental health is as high as it can be. Other than that, I'm just gonna keep trucking along. So, a year ago today, 1 year ago, not 6 months ago, a year ago today, I had just graduated college and I was chilling at home with my family, kind of waiting for July 1st to come because that is when I was going to move my entire life and go live in Brooklyn with my best friend and start teaching middle school English. And that did happen, by the way. That did happen. But health-wise, I was the sickest I had been in my entire life because once I started college, it was just like downhill, just rapid snowball, getting bigger, going downhill. I coughed all the time, like all the time. I often had to not go to my college classes because the 5-minute walk was too much for my lungs to handle. And someone is mowing their lawn. 1 second. I couldn't do anything. I lived upstairs, the second floor on a walk-up, and I like couldn't do that quickly. I had to do it slowly, and then I had to recover afterwards. I was on IV antibiotics all the time. I was going to the hospital all the time, like literally every 1 to 2 months I was going to the hospital. It took me 5 years to complete college for that reason. Like I was medically withdrawing all the time, doing poorly in classes because I wasn't there to attend them. But like the biggest thing was the quality of life. I was in pain all the time. I could not breathe ever. It was pretty awful. The last time I was in the hospital was from the end of May last year until the very beginning of June. So I went to the hospital for a tune-up and IV antibiotics, and I actually got my port replaced. I still have my port, but my other one stopped working, so I got my port replaced, so I was ready to have a functioning port for all the times I would need it when I moved to New York. And I moved to New York, and I have not been to the hospital since then. Sometimes that makes me want to cry. It's so crazy. But yes, I moved to New York City to teach and write and live my big life on July 1st. And from July 1st until November 9th, I hung in there. I just hung in there. I was sick in the city, but doing my thing and trying my best. I managed to work full-time as a teacher while being that same amount of sick for July, August, September, October, and the first few days of November. So 4 months and change. And it was hard, but I didn't know any different, really, because I couldn't remember being a little kid and feeling healthy, like before my CF got bad. So that's what was up. I would go to work, and then I would come home and, like, sleep and eat, and then go back to sleep the next day. That didn't make sense, but I didn't do anything except for focus on working, trying to stay healthy, and, like, walking my dog. I didn't, like, do social stuff. I didn't date. I didn't really work on, like, any writing stuff because I couldn't. I was trying to survive in the city while being sick, and I did, so good job for that. My best friend, Anna, helped me a lot, and she still does, but thank you, Anna, for helping me exist in the city pre-TRIKAFTA. So I think it was in November, that they announced that TRIKAFTA was on the market, and that was months sooner than anyone thought it was going to hit the market, so it was so exciting. And my doctors, my new care team at Columbia CF Clinic, which is weirdly named after one of my friends, Gunnar Esiason. Hey, Gunnar. My doctors there are absolutely incredible. Yeah, I think that was the big change that I needed. I love my care team in Michigan, but my new care team in New York, they were, like, willing to try new things with me. It was just, like, the refresh, the jolt that my medical everything needed, and somehow I managed to stay out of the hospital during those 4 months and change. I was on IV antibiotics a lot. I was teaching with a grenade hanging from my port, like a pressurized IV ball thing. I did a lot of that. I was on IV antibiotics or oral antibiotics or prednisone, like, all the time, but I was doing it. But when they announced that TRIKAFTA was out, my care team was like, this is going to help you so much. Like, you are double Delta F508, which Delta F508 is the mutation that you need to be on TRIKAFTA. I have 2 of those mutations. I still have a relatively high lung capacity, like, available to me. So while my lung function would drop really low when I got sick, after a couple weeks on antibiotics, it would be really high again. So it just kind of, like, gave us hope and showed us that good health was still attainable for me, and my lungs could reach that place of higher ability to function. And, like, the other huge thing was I cough all the time. I have, like, pretty bad asthma, and anything will set off I forgot what it's called to suddenly go into a coughing spasm, a coughing fit, because I don't do it anymore. But anything would set it off, whether it was going upstairs, talking, laughing, breathing, like, anything. And they were like, you are not going to cough anymore. You're going to stop coughing. You're going to stop getting sick all the time, which is, like, what my huge thing has been ever since college. Just cyclical, frequent, I'm healthy, I'm sick, I'm healthy, I'm sick. And they said, like, that's going to stop. You're going to be able to breathe. You're going to be a new person. And it filled me with a lot of hope, but I also, like, did not believe the extremity of their words, because why would I believe that? This was supposed to happen with Orkambi. This was supposed to happen with Symdeko. They didn't live up to the hype, you know? So I was trying not to let myself believe in this hype because I knew that's how I would get hurt. but I didn't get hurt because my care team made calls and calls, and I managed to have TRIKAFTA in my hands 3 weeks after it was on the market. Like, the amount that they care is, like, it has made me cry several times. But I just had, like, this feeling after the first few people with CF that I follow on social media had started TRIKAFTA, and I was seeing what it was doing for them. I was like, holy crap, like, might this actually work? And it did. It just did. Within the first hour of taking my first dose of TRIKAFTA, I was coughing an insane amount, moving an insane amount of mucus. Sorry if you are someone who does not listen to mucus talk, but, like, that's the truth. I was just, like, getting so much stuff out. I was like, oh my god, what is happening? But, you know, some headaches, some, like, fevers, some pain. But that's what everyone else was saying was happening, and it did for me. And then after 5 days of being on TRIKAFTA, 2 pills in the morning, 1 pill in the evening, I felt better than I had since I was in middle school. And I still do. I think I've been on oral antibiotics 1 time since November 9th when I started. And I have not been on IV antibiotics 1 time. I'm thinking about getting my port removed because I do not use it anymore. I've never been to the hospital in New York. Like, one of the biggest things that almost scared me away from moving to New York was knowing that I needed to sit on the subway. Like, I was not capable of standing for 10, 20 minutes at a time to be able to stand on the crowded subway. But because I don't look disabled, I knew that there's a possibility I could, like, be harassed when I asked to sit in disability seating on the subway, because that has happened to me before. But, like, now I'm just so glad I took the chance and moved out to New York. I'm, like, tearing up. Moved out to New York when I was sick because I'm healthy now, and all the stuff that scared me I don't really have to deal with. I stand on the subway. I get up for other people on the subway. I walk up 4 flights of stairs to get to the floor that my middle school is on. And it was so hard for the first couple months, and now it is, well, I'm not in school anymore because COVID, but it became so easy. And, like, just living without pain, I had no hopes for that, ever. And I actually, what year is it? It was 2017. In 2017, I asked my doctor to be real with me, my CF doctor. I said, be real with me. Doc, you and me, be real. If I continue the way I am living right now, if I continue to get sick every month, if nothing changes for me, like, basically, how much time do you think I have? I genuinely wanted to know. And he is usually not someone to, he's just very optimistic. He's very smart, but he was very optimistic. And I didn't expect him to be real with me, but he was. And he said, if everything continues as it is currently, I will be worried for you within a couple of years. And I was like, oh, good to know. So that was my 4th year of college, my fake senior year. And that's what I was prepared for, even knowing about TRIKAFTA, because, like, nothing had proved itself to me so far, so why would TRIKAFTA? But now it's like, I never get sick, and I started never coughing, and I would be 10 million times as scared right now of COVID-19 if I was not on TRIKAFTA, because, you know, luckily I my dad was able to come get me, take me out of New York City when this all started. So I got out of the epicenter of the disease, so I feel a lot more safe just being in Michigan. But if I was as sick as I was, it's not even like if I caught the disease, it would definitely kill me. That was a part of it. But the other part is like I would have needed to have gone to the hospital like 1, 2, 3 times already, just within COVID. So being able to not need to go to the doctor, not need to get admitted to the hospital for a checkup during COVID-19, where the virus is like living, that is just such a blessing. Being able to, I have not left my house in over 2 months, but when it was all like just kind of starting and people were like, oh, you're coughing on the train, I'm going to yell at you to go home right now. I'm going to yell at you to put on a mask right now. This was before everyone was wearing masks. Back when it was just like social suicide to cough, I wasn't coughing. No one was able to harass me because I did not have to give myself away. And I'm so thankful for that. Because I have faced that in the past, like on a plane, in a theater. And it truly just makes you feel like the world does not want you to be in it when people yell at you for being sick, because they think that people are only acutely sick, not sick all the time forever. So they're like, go home. You should not be out in public right now. And it's like, bro, I do this all the time. I cannot hide in my house. Anyway. So, yes, I said I don't cough anymore. I stopped having to clear my throat all the time. But I'm sure you've heard me cough already in this video. You've heard me clear my throat. What's going on? This is the part when I'm not going to be very proud of myself. And I am very ashamed to be saying the things I'm about to say. But I also feel like I can't be the only one who this is happening with. And I just want to be completely honest to anyone who is still watching this video. Once I started to feel better than I had in literal half of my life, I haven't been out of the hospital for this long since the 4th grade, it did start to feel like a cure. It started to feel like I didn't have CF because I didn't feel it. I wasn't reminded of it. So what has been happening is it has been extremely difficult to get myself to take my medicine, to do my breathing treatments, to acknowledge and take care of the fact that I do have cystic fibrosis, because it doesn't feel like I do. So other than TRIKAFTA and my antidepressant, Zoloft, it's really, really, really been hard for me to get myself to take those pills, or to do my best, or to do my nebulizers. And in the past 6 months, I have not done it more than I have done it. It's funny because I actually wrote an essay about this before this topic, it was called something like, don't let feeling better keep you from feeling good or something. I don't know. But that's the truth. I've been having an identity crisis. I have been self-sabotaging and just not doing what I need to do to be okay. And sometimes it even happens with my TRIKAFTA. I hate saying this. It's gotten to the point where, like, I will know that I've gone too many days without taking TRIKAFTA when my knees start to hurt. That's how I know that my CF symptoms are coming back. I will get arthralgia in my joints, especially my knees, and they'll start to hurt, and I'll be like, all right, gotta start taking it again. Like, if you're on this drug, the absolute, like, over the limit number of days you should be going without taking it is 1. If you ever miss a dose, like, that's too many doses to miss, because this is truly just like one hair from being a cure. And it costs millions of dollars to develop. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars for me to have it. I only pay $15 per month, but that's besides the point. Like, this is what CFers have died waiting for. This is what people all around the world have been donating money and time to develop. And because I'm so used to knowing myself as a sick person, and because I probably don't care about myself or like myself as much as I should, I neglect to take just literally this miracle drug that if I take it, I feel good. And I'm wondering if anyone else is struggling with that, and if you are, like, what are we gonna do to make this better? If you are taking it perfectly, please continue to do that. Do not look to me as a role model. I'm trying to fix it. I swear, I'm trying to fix it. But I can't, like, that's why my clearing my throat is coming back and my coughing is coming back. It's because I've gone a small handful of days without taking it, and it just, like, creeps back in. So I promise when I take my TRIKAFTA every day, I don't have to do that. I don't have to cough. But I'm kind of failing and whiffing it a little bit because life is so weird right now, and I'm only used to being sick. I know I need to wrap this up. But the one other, like, identity crisis thing that I've been having is feeling well enough to, if someone, pre-COVID, if someone were to ask me, like, hey, do you want to get coffee on Saturday? And it was a Monday, instead of saying, sure, if I feel well enough, I would just say, sure. And it's, like, the best feeling in the world to know that I can make plans and stick to them socially because I know I'm going to feel good. But also, this is the best metaphor I've been able to come up with to describe this. It's like there was a balloon blown up to capacity inside of my body, and that balloon was CF. So much of me was made out of CF. So much of me was dedicated to thinking about CF. TRIKAFTA popped the balloon. So, or at least it has deflated to being like this big. So there's still a part of me that is dedicated to CF, but because that balloon popped or deflated or whatever, it's left behind just this huge amount of negative space in my body cavity that I do not know, like, what to do with it. So much of me used to be dedicated to CF that is now dedicated to nothing, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know who I am, and I don't know how to be social or, like, make friends or have friends because I wasn't healthy enough to hang out with people before. I don't know how to not have an excuse to not exercise because now I don't have an excuse to not exercise because I feel well enough to exercise. And so now I just feel lazy, whereas before I felt like only a little bit lazy because I knew I was sick and it wasn't, like, really my fault, but, like, now it is. It's just weird. It is the biggest blessing I have ever had in my entire life. And it's also weird. And I need to go back into therapy. I tried a therapist when I moved to New York, but I didn't really vibe with her. And I just miss my old social worker from the University of Michigan Hospital so much that it's like when you have that one ex that you were so in love with, but now you're not with them and, like, no one compares. It's like that, but, like, therapy edition. But I need to find someone to work on this stuff with. So I could ramble on a lot more, but oh my god, it's been 24 minutes. If you watched this whole thing, you rock. If you didn't, that's okay. I probably wouldn't either. If you ever had shared awareness posts on social media or come to a Great Strides walk or donated a penny to cystic fibrosis research, thank you so much for this drug. Thank you so much for this drug, and I'm so sorry that I haven't been taking it every single day because there's no reason for it. And it's just completely irresponsible. But I'm trying to fix it, I promise. So thank you. Continue to wash your hands, continue to socially isolate if you're watching this at a time when COVID-19 is still a thing, but also wash your hands and don't touch people anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this now. Okay, goodbye.